Hi all, my name is Aria Carly and I'm here with the amazing Angie Chen. And we're really excited today to basically break down the difference between policies, registry keys, and the Graph API, all with respect to the Windows Update for Business.
Hi everyone, happy to have you all here. Let's dig in.
So let's start with my personal favorite, client policies. Now there are two types of client policies. And really, what I'm talking about are group policies or group policy objects and configuration service provider policies or CSPs.
Aria, as someone new to the team, could you remind me what the biggest difference is between group policies and CSPs?
Of course. So, group policies have long been the standard for applying any user and computer policies in an enterprise, right? So, group policy objects or GPOs can be used to apply any settings, controlling configurations, things like Windows Update policies, and more. And these are really just settings that can be applied at the user or computer level. By using GPOs, organizations can apply standardized and consistent policies to all of the users and computers in their domain. And what it's doing is setting low-level registry edits or keys and is basically doing this to make sure that we know what to send up whenever the device scans Windows Update. Now, the challenge with group policy is that managing end-user clients in this way is requiring network connectivity. In fact, clients have to have a direct line of sight connectivity to an Azure Active Directory or just an Azure Directory for their domain controllers. And so group policy settings will actually fail to apply or refresh depending on whether or not the clients already have the group policy settings applied or not. And this can cause some failures. So now we're also talking about configuration service provider policies, or CSPs. For those who are coming from a traditional GPO environment to CSPs, the CSP is pretty similar. It's a client-side extension, it's setting registry keys on the device. Both are just client-side extensions that are specialized DLL files that allow end-user client to read and apply objects and settings. Now, the difference with these cloud-based Intune configuration file is the CSP settings allow the reading, setting, modifying, and deleting of registry keys on the device. And the CSP settings map to registry keys or files in the end-user database. And similarly to GPO, with regards to Windows Update for Business, we're sending all of that information up when we're scanning. We're using all of that same information whenever we're actually having the update stack orchestrator talk to the UX about doing things like notifications, download, install, scan. So both GPOs and CSPs are configuring these registry keys on the back end. However, we still recommend CSPs over group policies simply because modern device management tools, or MDMs, like Intune, actually can leverage these CSPs. And not only can they allow you to configure and modify the key from the cloud, but they can do so without requiring the same line of sight as group policies.
But wait, if both CSPs and group policies set registry keys, then wouldn't another option just be to set the registry keys directly? Why go through the policies at all?
That's a great question. So the problem with setting registry keys directly is that registry keys can be easily overwritten. Not only will they be overwritten if the IT admin configures CSPs or GPs using their controller that get passed to the device, but the end user themselves can actually configure local group policy, which will overwrite those registry keys that you, the admin, are trying to set. This can be especially a big problem when you're trying to keep devices up to date, or you're trying to actually have your help desk manage why a device isn't updating the way that you thought it should.
So you're saying that I probably shouldn't be going in and configuring local group policies on my Microsoft managed device?
I mean, probably not, but I'll let you take that up with our IT department.
Now that we've covered policies and registry keys, can we get to my favorite topic?
Of course, I'm assuming you're talking about unicorns.
Actually, I was thinking more of the Windows Update for Business deployment service Graph API.
That's probably slightly more appropriate. So how does the Windows Graph API work?
So if you're familiar with the feature update experience in Intune, you've actually already been using the Graph API since that experience is built directly on top of the Windows Update for Business deployment service. But you can also call the API directly through PowerShell or the Microsoft Graph Explorer. When you do that, you pass in all sorts of information like your device IDs and what updates you want offered to which devices. And all of that information gets sent directly to the Windows Update Service, or WU. This ensures that Woo offers exactly what you as the admin want to the right devices at the right time. That's the beauty of expressing intent in the cloud. Whether it's one device or 20,000 devices, all you need to do is tell the service what update I want to which devices, and I can even choose a rate-based or a date-based gradual rollout. And using machine learning algorithms, the service will intelligently select devices based on their unique attributes so that earlier waves have a diversity of hardware and software to function as pilot device populations.
Wow. No wonder that's our recommended way of managing how Windows updates are offered. So, how do I know if a device has its updates managed by the Windows Update for Business deployment service?
Currently, there's nothing on the client where you can see this since the management tool is talking directly to the Woo service via the Graph API without the client having to be the middleman. However, you can tell if a device is enrolled in several ways. First, you can check your reports in Intune or Windows Update for Business reports, or you can query the Graph API directly to get a list of your enrolled devices. We do recommend, however, that you allow for about 24 hours of processing time after enrolling your device before checking these sources of information. You can also learn best practices for using the deployment service, as well as what requirements your devices and your organization must meet in order to use the service at aka.ms/woofbds.
So, if I already have my client policies set, let's say CSPs that I've configured via Intune, do I need to go and actually remove all of them before I actually start using the Windows Update for Business deployment service?
No, in fact, you shouldn't. The deployment service is amazing for managing which updates are offered to a device when and in which manner. It enables you to do so much between scheduling updates, intelligently rolling them out, to even managing drivers and hardware coming soon. However, the client policies are the best for managing what the client does once it's offered the update.
Got it. So use the Windows Update for Business deployment service Graph API for managing which updates are offered and when they're offered and then how they're offered. And then use Windows Update for Business client policies to control the update experience, scan, download, install, restart, and user experience, things of that nature. And then never, ever set registry keys directly.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Angie, for taking the time to discuss policies, the Graph API, and registry keys with me. And thank you, all of you IT admins and other folks watching this, for tuning in. We really hope this conversation was as useful for you as it was for us, and that you're able to walk away with some new information that'll help you as you go forward to manage Windows updates in your environment. Thanks all. Bye for now.